It doesn't matter if you are a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, you must have seen people bragging about KFC's chicken, or you might have done it yourself. Hello and welcome to the first video of our channel, No Insights, and before we proceed further, please subscribe to our channel. Today we are going to talk about KFC in this video. KFC, which was formerly known as Kentucky Fried Chicken, is known around the globe for its famous fried chicken. Its finger-lickin' good franchises can be found in 130 countries all over the world. With more than 21,000 locations, it's safe to say that you're probably never too far from a KFC, or its tasty but secret blend of herbs and spices. But while many people can say they've tasted the chicken at KFC, and pretty much everyone can identify Colonel Harlan Sanders, most people don't know that the beloved chicken chain has a colorful history behind its success. There's a lot more to this chain than crispy fried chicken and a handful of delicious sides. Here is everything you never knew about KFC. Let's see who was Colonel Harlan Sanders. Colonel Harlan David Sanders was born on September 9, 1890 in Henryville, Indiana. He was the oldest of three children born to Wilbur David and Margaret Ann Sanders. His father worked as a farmer in his 80-acre farm, until he broke his leg after an accident. He then worked as a butcher in Henryville for 2 years. Sanders' mother was a devout Christian and strict parent, continuously warning her children of the evils of alcohol, tobacco, gambling, and whistling on Sundays. By the age of 7, Sanders was reportedly skilled with bread and vegetables, and improving with meat, and by the age of 10 he started working as a farmhand. In 1902, Sanders' mother remarried, and in 1903 Sanders dropped out of 7th grade. At age 13, he left home and took a job of painting horse carriages. In 1906 he moved to his uncle in New Albany and secured a job as a conductor. Sanders falsified his date of birth and enlisted in the United States Army in October 1906, completing his service commitment as a wagoner in Cuba. He was honorably discharged in February 1907 and moved to Sheffield, Alabama, where his uncle lived. He worked there as a blacksmith's helper in a workshop. He became a fireman at the age of 16, and after 3 years of service he was fired for insubordination. Sanders found laboring work with the Norfolk and Western Railway from 1910, where he met Josephine and married her, and later had 3 children, namely Harlan Jr., Margaret Sanders and Mildred Sanders. He then found work as a fireman on the Illinois Central Railroad, and in his free time he studied law. After few years he started practicing as a lawyer. Due to some fight with his colleagues and clients he lost his legal career, and by 1916 he started selling life insurances, and after some time he was fired again from that company. Then he moved to Louisville and got a sales job with Mutual Benefit Life of New Jersey. In 1920, Sanders established a ferry boat company, which operated a boat on the Ohio River between Jeffersonville and Louisville. He canvassed for funding, becoming a minority shareholder himself, and was appointed secretary of the company. The ferry was an instant success. Around 1922 he took a job as secretary at the Chamber of Commerce in Columbus, Indiana. He admitted that he was not very good at the job, and resigned after less than a year. Sanders cashed in his ferry boat company shares for $22,000 and used the money to establish a company manufacturing acetylene lamps. The venture failed after Delco introduced an electric lamp that it sold on credit. Sanders moved to Winchester, Kentucky, to work as a salesman for the Michelin Tire Company. He lost his job in 1924 when Michelin closed its New Jersey manufacturing plant. In 1924, by chance, he met the general manager of Standard Oil of Kentucky, who asked him to run a service station in Nicholasville. In 1930, the station closed as a result of the Great Depression. In 1930, the Shell Oil Company offered Sanders a service station in North Corbin, Kentucky, rent-free, in return for paying the company a percentage of sales. Sanders began to serve chicken dishes and other meals such as country ham and steaks. Sanders was commissioned as a Kentucky colonel in 1935 by Kentucky Governor Ruby LaFoon. His local popularity grew, and, in 1939, food critic Duncan Hines visited Sanders's restaurant. In 1939 Sanders built a 140-seat restaurant in North Carolina. By July 1940, Sanders had finalized his secret recipe for frying chicken in a pressure fryer that cooked the chicken faster than pan frying. In 1952, Sanders franchised his Secret Recipe Kentucky Fried Chicken for the first time to Pete Harmon of South Salt Lake, Utah, the operator of one of that city's largest restaurants. After Harmon's success, several other restaurant owners franchised the concept and paid Sanders 4 cents per chicken. The franchise approach became highly successful. KFC was one of the first fast food chains to expand internationally, opening outlets in Canada and later in the UK, Mexico and Jamaica by the mid-1960s. Sanders obtained a patent protecting his method of pressure frying chicken in 1962 and trademarked the phrase, "It's finger lickin' good," in 1963. In 1964, he sold the Kentucky Fried Chicken Corporation for $2 million to a partnership of Kentucky businessmen headed by John Y. Brown, Jr., a 29-year-old lawyer and future governor of Kentucky, and Jack C. Massey, a venture capitalist and entrepreneur. As late as 1979, Sanders made surprise visits to KFC restaurants, and if the food disappointed him, he denounced it to the franchisee. Sanders was diagnosed with acute leukemia in June 1980. He died at Jewish Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky, of pneumonia on December 16, 1980, at the age of 90. So, the things that actually led to the growth of KFC was that they quite early realized that time means money. KFC serves its customer fast, saving their time, which encourages consumer to come to its services again and again. Retention of customer is higher in KFC, and it is one of the major reasons behind the success of KFC. Along with that, technology has also contributed towards the success of KFC. Colonel Sanders knew the importance of pressure cooker only after few weeks of its introduction. Pressure cooker makes it possible to boil the liquid at higher temperature than normal boiling point, therefore killing the germs, making the food last longer and retaining the nutrient, thus making the food tastier. The original recipe, made by Colonel Sanders, is the USP of KFC. It is the most important factory behind KFC's success story. No other fast food company has unique taste of chicken that KFC has. KFC is popular all around the globe for its taste. The main reason for success and growth of KFC is due to the franchise system in which it operates. In a franchise system, everything is documented and there are strict rules for running the business. Here are some shocking truths of KFC that we have got in our research. They breed their own chickens in pathetic conditions. Many refuse this, but many know the reality behind this accusation. KFC is known to breed its own genetic type and form of chickens. It is said and understood that KFC is in the business of providing their own chicken breed to all its customers, and they are not at all healthy. Most believe that the chickens they breed are always malnutrition in nature, and they keep them in pathetic conditions. If you ever see a KFC chicken farm, then you will understand what we are talking about. Many have also said that KFC's breeds of chickens actually are not original chickens at all. They are hybrid chickens, and most of them only have meat in them rather than other important biological parts. Hence, some considered KFC chickens to be inorganic and unnatural, as most of them are test tube produced. Although some of the accusations may be far-fetched, but they might as well have some weight. So, we must be careful. Eating KFC regularly can make you fat or even worse. At over 400 calories, 900 milligrams of sodium, and 25 grams of fatty acids, a single KFC burger can become the reason of severe health complications. Studies reveal that at most of its branches, expired or unhealthy oil is used for frying. The materials and the ingredients that they use are harmful for our health. Researchers have proved that the grilled chicken of KFC have loads of sodium. The excessive intake of sodium causes breast cancer, obesity, high blood pressure, and other health complications. Most of its eatables have high amounts of sodium bicarbonate, monocalcium phosphates, monosodium glutamate, and other components. When you consume these food items, you can suffer from infertility, and other serious disorders. An interesting fact about KFC is that they started their own game. In 2015, KFC released an 8-bit style game called Colonel Quest. The game is based on a fictionalized version of Colonel Sanders' life and, according to GameSpot, is ridiculous. Highlights of the game include escaping a classroom, bouncing flying babies off a trampoline, and shooting your way out of a gas station gunfight. In 2017, they released another game, this one in a virtual reality style meant to train the cooks for their restaurants. In The Hard Way, users are trapped in a lodge where the voice of Colonel Sanders directs them on how to make the perfect chicken. Sounds like fun, except they can't leave until they get it right. Nothing like welcoming new recruits to the company with a little VR kidnapping, right? If video games aren't your style, you could always check out the Colonel Sanders comic books. DC Entertainment turned the KFC founder into a comic book superhero who teams up with the Justice League to fight crime. What happened to the secret recipe? In August 2016, the Chicago Tribune sent a reporter south to do a story on KFC's original location in Corbin, Kentucky. The reporter met with Joe Ledington, nephew of the infamous Colonel Sanders, and was shown some of the family's extensive memorabilia. Handwritten on the back of the will of Sanders' second wife was a note that specified which 11 herbs and spices were to be blended with 2 cups of flour for the secret blend. Initially, Ledington said it was the real deal. After it was published in the Tribune, he backtracked to say that he wasn't sure he'd gotten it right. Well, if you can't read the secret recipe in the given photograph, you can find it in the description below. You can try this recipe at your home and comment below if you think it was finger-licking for you or not. Please subscribe to our channel for more and more interesting videos like this.